India is at a crossroads in the battle for women's rights. A recent string of high-profile gang rapes has drawn the world's attention to the country and its poor record of protecting women. But at the same time, demonstrators have taken to the streets for some of the largest anti-rape protests the world has ever seen. In this struggle, an unlikely ally for women has emerged, an unrelenting heavy metal band from India that goes by the name Sceptre. The Atlantic recently featured the band's new album, Age of Calamity, which focuses on the plight of women in India. And we have with us now Sceptre's drummer, Aniket Waghmode, and the journalist who wrote the piece in The Atlantic, Kim Kelly. Thank you both for being with us. Aniket, I want to start by having a listen to a portion of the track, Age of Calamity.
Sorry, come again?
So Aniket, what's the song all about? Let's start by, just sharing the message with us behind the song.
Yeah, hi. First of all, greetings to everyone from Sceptre. We are extremely honored to be on this show. And as everyone knows, the thought behind this album is about standing up for women. And not just women of your own country, it's about women of every nation. So that is the basic thought behind this. And of late, we've seen a lot of crimes against women. And we are trying to prove a message, we are trying to prove a point to the world that Sceptre is not one of those bands who look at women in that kind of light.
And Aniket, with that in mind, the proceeds of the album is going to a shelter for young girls?
Yes, that's right. But as of now, we are still working on the formalities, but it's going to be done as soon as possible, and we'll let you know.
Okay, it's obviously noble, and I'm sure a lot of people are looking at what you're doing and maybe wondering many things. It's obvious that you want to support women, but why focus on this issue in particular?
As every nation has its own problems, even India has its own problems in corruption, in terrorism. But it's since a long time we've been noticing this new evil that has taken over our country. And, every day you open the newspapers, you have at least 5 to 6 rape cases. You have at least 5 to 6 molestation cases. There's all sorts of heinous crimes that you can think of against women happening. So obviously, to turn a blind eye to something like this is obviously it's going to be inhuman. So that is the main reason. Apart from that, I also became a father in 2008. I have a daughter. And after her birth, I probably realized even deeper into it that, okay, this is going to be a very serious issue for everyone, including me in the future. So we are just doing our bit as a band and trying to tell the world, at least we want to change the metalheads that come for our shows. We want to change their thinking. We want to change their perception about women. If they respect women, I think it's almost a battle won. It's just like that.
Most certainly. Kim, Aniket outlined some of his personal motivations as well as collectively, how big a story this is in India. As you chronicle in your piece, as a woman who writes about heavy metal and is deeply involved in the scene, how important is it for bands or for a band to address these kinds of issues?
Well, I think the fact that there are so many of us, there's so many female metal fans, people involved in the industry, people that write, we're everywhere. And, we're part of this too. This belongs to us too. And metal does have a bit of a problem with accepting that sometimes. There are so many bands that do stick up for ladies, that do stick up for their female fans. They're there for us. But then there are the incidents that, women are disrespected at shows. They're disrespected when they write something. They're disrespected when they, try to show how much they care about the same stuff that men care about. There's parts of the industry that sort of have a difficult time realizing that women are able to play guitars without wearing next to no clothing. It's an upwards battle, but we're making so much progress. And bands like Sceptre are really, really helping. They're really standing arm in arm with us, and we appreciate it.
And Kim, I'm sure a lot of people appreciate the fact that you wrote the piece, people who may not have been familiar with Sceptre. How did you come across Sceptre?
They work with a publicist and the busiest man in India, Kunal Chowsky, who emailed me about the record. And I get lots of emails about albums, and I read through it real quick and saw, that this band had dedicated their record to women. I was like, hang on, this band from India, this, traditionally very patriarchal society that's having all these issues. They've got a thrash band who's just written a record about why that's terrible. And I figured I had to get in touch. And once I talked to them and heard their story, I figured, more people need to know about this. And I got to do what I can to get it out there. And the record rules too, and that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt. Well, Aniket, I'm sure your audience reacts to your music differently. I mean, do you get resistance to your lyrical themes sometimes?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you properly.
So, I would imagine, I'm curious what your audience thinks of the music. I mean, do you get a lot of resistance to the themes, the lyrical themes in your music?
No, actually, this is not the first time we've done something like this. We actually have a song called Charred, and that song is against the evils of smoking. So we also try to endorse that kind of thought. We are a band who don't smoke, we don't dope either. So that is another thought process that we always have stuck to. And, so people obviously they see us in a different light, and they know when Sceptre is coming out with an album, it's got to have some kind of message. So people have always just lapped it up. I don't see any kind of resistance whatsoever.
All right. Well, I do want to thank you both for taking the time to be with us. Is there anything else you want to add about the piece, or what you think this suggests?
I just think it's a really good. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I should have directed the question. Well, I'm glad you both want to add something. Go ahead. Ladies first. How about that?
Yeah. I'll take it. Who said chivalry's dead? I just think that I'm really glad that people are paying attention to this band and that they're getting recognition for what they're doing, because it's tough sometimes to speak out against that particular issue of gender violence. And in metal, we're all in it together. We're all in it for the same reasons. And it's really nice as a metal fan and as a woman to see someone who's like, you know what? We're going to stick up for you. We're not going to go to the hottest chicks in metal tour. We're going to talk about why that shouldn't exist.
I love it. Aniket, your reaction?
I would just like to say, if you like Sceptre, treat women with respect, and we are the kind of band who are going to treat women with respect. So with all due respect, all power to the ladies of the world, and see you guys soon, hopefully.
I love it. Well, Aniket, thanks so much for being with us, the both of you.
Thanks so much.
Hopefully we'll keep this conversation alive. It's obviously an important one to you and hopefully to everyone else.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.